All right, so we're going to use this theorem, De Moivre's theorem. What a name, huh? Isn't that funky? De Moivre's theorem says this right here, this sort of thing. All right, if we take something to the nth power, and it's a complex number, this is how we find it. All right, so let me write out a little differently on here. Let's get a new tab. Let's say I got a complex number like this, and oh geez, it's cosine. Goofball. I'm all flustered. Let's say I have to take this whole thing to a certain exponent. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to raise r to the nth, and then we're going to multiply each angle times n in here. All right, now the problem we have is it's not in this form, right? It's in complex number form. It's in rectangular form. So let's go back. What we have to figure out is what is r and what is. All right, so this would be square root of 1 squared plus square root of 3 squared. We're ignoring the 6th power for now. That's what we're going to do after we convert it. Okay? So what's that spit out? Well, we got 1 plus 3. That'd be square root of 4, which is 2. All right, so r is 2. Now, what's our angle? Angle is when we had to use what? You remember? Yes, inverse tangent. So inverse tangent of V over A. And we have to make sure it's in the right spot. You remember how we had to do that? All right, we had sometimes had to add 180, sometimes 360, and all that fun stuff. All right, so if we do inverse tangent of that, let me think. It'd be like this. That should be 60, right? 60 degrees. Now ask yourself this. Where is this complex number? Well, it's in the first quadrant, right? It's both positive numbers, and I mean like it's right and up. Is 60 degrees in that location also? Yes. So we don't have to add anything or subtract anything here. So that means our angle is 60. Sometimes, again, I want to reiterate that. You might have to add 180, right? It'll happen. So now your angle is 60. So theta is 60. So we got r equals 2. Theta is 60. Let's go over here now. R equals 2. What exponent are we taking it to, or are we doing it to the 6th? That's what it said on the outside of parentheses. Okay, the exponent was 6. That's where each one of these 6's came from. That 6, that 6, and that 6. That's what n is up here. So we need to simplify a few things. 2 to the 6th is 64. And then the cosine of 6 times 60, well, that turns into cosine of 360. And the same thing here. I times the sine 360. Now I want to go back to the question. Alia, this is on yours. What's the question say? Answer must be exact. So now what we have to do is we've got to take it back into rectangular form, which isn't hard. This is the easy part, right? Tell me, what's the cosine? Let's do the parentheses first. What's the cosine of 360? You can use your calculator. We'll spit it out. Also, we can look on the unit circle. Yep, cosine of 360 is 1. The sine of 360? 0. So I'll just write it for this example, but it's 0i, right? It's nothing. Now, there's no sense in adding nothing. Get out of there. So now it says 64 times 1. There is no imaginary part. So the answer is just 64. That's it. Whew. Okay? Now, if you need help converting some of these angles into something that you can find on the unit circle, I can help you with that. One thing you might see, let me help you with one thing, all right? Let's say you did part of the work and whatever it is, and then one of your angles ends up being like 540, and then so forth. 540 is not on the unit circle. Like it's like a full trip around and then something else, correct? Okay, so where would 540 be? It'd be 180. What did you do to find that? Right. So if you need to go backwards, take a lap off of the circle, right? Go back in time. So you can say, okay, what's 540 minus 360? You could say, all right, 540 is the same as 180. And because it said answer in exact terms, you might have to do that. Might have to find it on the unit circle. Okay? Yeah. Well, no, what I'm saying is, if you try to look on the unit circle at 540 and find the cosine, there is no 540. It only goes up to 360. Right? So that means 540 is actually the same as 180. So then we would look at what's the cosine of 180. It's at the same spot, right? So if I go all the way around 360 and I go 180 more, guess where I am? I'm at 180. Okay. So you might end up with that because when you take something like an angle like 60 times, let's say we multiplied it by 8 or something crazy like that, you're going to have a number that's bigger than 360. You're going to have those, all right? So that's one example. I can do another one here in a second, but let me help these other people, okay?